lovies, it's me, Mrs. T, and today I'm coming to you with my very first collaboration video. A collaboration video is basically where several YouTubers get together and make videos on the same theme or topic, and then we cross-promote and cross-share them on each other's channels. That means when you finish watching me right now, be sure to check the description box below for the playlist where you can check out the other YouTubers who are joining in on this collab. So today's collab is actually called 5 Things I Said I'd Never Do. And you kind of fill in the blanks after that. And we had several suggestions for the fill in the blank, and I took the one for before having kids. So what I'm sharing with you today is 5 things I said I'd never do before having kids. The first thing I said I'd never do before having kids was have kids. I honestly saw myself as Little Miss Corporate, work my way up that business ladder and just be a boss girl, and there was no stopping me. I did not see kids in the picture, and now here I am like 20 years later with 6 kids. So go figure, right? The second thing I said that I would never do before having kids is drive a minivan. No offense to all my moms and folks out there who have the minivans, but there's just something in me that does not like them. Every time I thought of a minivan, I thought of a mom looking dazed and crazed, driving her kids around like a taxi cab. And I just didn't see that as being me. But as life would have it, it was me. For about 2 years, we had a Chrysler Pacifica, which they technically classify as a crossover, but trust me, it looks like a minivan. It felt like a minivan. It drove like a minivan, and I hated it just like a minivan. I was so glad to say goodbye to that thing. It wasn't even funny. I'm actually what you would call a truck girl. The bigger the truck, the better. Right now I have a Durango. I'm kind of disappointed because they don't make them how they used to. Trucks are just not trucks anymore. They kind of look more like cars. So there's that, but it's not a minivan, so I'm good with that part. The third thing that I said I would never do before having kids was be a stay-at-home mom. I honestly, like I said, did not see myself as that person. I thought I was going to be, if I had kids, I would be the mom who dropped her kids off, went to work, came home, did dinner, like basically did it all, but still had a job. But now I'm a stay-at-home mom, and honestly, I see that pretty much as a full-time job. And the bonus part is I get to have my blog and my YouTube channel and all that other stuff to give me that satisfaction of a job. Plus, I get to have all the memories and moments that I get by being home with my kids. So it's a win-win as far as I'm concerned. The third thing, actually the fourth thing, that I said I would never do before having kids is be the mom who does all her kids' school projects. And people, confession, I'm that mom. I think it might be the perfectionist side of me, but it's like when my kids get the grades back from our projects, it's our grade. It's both of us, because that's how much, or that's how involved I am with the project. The thing is, I try to let them do it. I do. I really do. I sit down, I say, okay, this is what you have to do. This is a topic you need. Here's all your art supplies. Get her done. And then I sit off on the side and I see the crooked lines and the paper being glued all askew and crooked, and it just works my nerves. So most times what happens is I let them do the parts, or I assign them parts that I figure they can handle, and then I stay up half the night and tweak and twerk the stuff that they just can't do. Like the hot glue or the rubber cement, which, by the way, rubber cement can give you a bit of a buzz if you're in one room with no windows and you're gluing like a whole diorama. Just so you know. You might want to open some windows. I had to learn that the hard way. But yeah, so that's how it happens. And I give them part of the assignment and then I help them out with the other part. But I still became that mom, and honestly, I'm okay with it because my kids get awesome grades on their projects. So there's that. The fifth and final thing that I said I would never do before having kids was be a PTA mom. Not that I have anything against PTA moms, because obviously if it's on this list, I became one. The thing that I had with PTA moms is I felt it was so horrible for the child, because growing up, my grandmother was that mom who was in my school 24/7, well 24/5, and I couldn't get away with anything because everywhere I'd be like, I'm going to tell your grandmother, and 9 out of 10 she was like down the hall. So I didn't want to be that mom for my kids, But not only am I a PTA mom, but I'm also on the PTA board, which means I'm a card-carrying member of the PTA. I'm actually the hospitality president, which means I'm in charge of cupcakes and muffins and coffee and juice for all the events and stuff. And it also means that 9 out of 10 times, I'm a volunteer for almost all the events. The upside to this is my kids don't seem to be as bothered by it as I was when I was a kid. They actually love it. They love that all their friends know who their mom is. They love that I'm pretty much there whenever they want to look for me. So I guess it all worked out in the end. But that's it, folks. Those are my 5 things that I said I would never do before having kids that somehow life ended up having me do. So it just goes to show, never say never, because 9 out of 10, it's going to end up happening. Don't forget though, this is a collab video, so be sure to check down below in the description for the other YouTubers who joined up with this theme, and I'll probably try to link it somewhere here in the video as well. Give them a little bit of love, drop those thumbs up, and I'll see you next time in the next video. Smooches!